It's a warm Thursday morning, August 4th, 1892. A quiet street in Fall River, Massachusetts. A two-story house, white wood, lace curtains. Inside, everything looks peaceful. But within an hour, that peace will shatter forever. And America will never look at the word family the same way again. Because on this day, someone committed a shocking act that changed that household forever. Andrew Borden was of English and Welsh descent. He grew up in very modest surroundings and struggled financially as a young man, despite being the descendant of a wealthy and influential family. He eventually prospered in the manufacture and sale of furniture and caskets, then became a successful property developer. He was a director of several textile mills and owned considerable commercial property. He was also president of the Union Savings Bank and a director of the Durfee Safe Deposit and Trust Company. At the time of his murder, his estate was valued at $300,000, $10 million in 2024. Andrew Borden was a man of discipline, a wealthy banker, known for his frugality. Despite his wealth, Borden was known for his frugality. The Borden residence lacked indoor plumbing even though it was a common feature for the wealthy at that time. The house stood in an affluent area, but the wealthiest residents of Fall River generally lived in the more fashionable neighborhood called the Hill, which was farther from the industrial areas of the city. His wife, Abby Borden, his second wife, kept the household running. Their daughters, Emma and Lizzie, were grown women, still living under their father's strict rules. They had servants, money, a quiet life. But they also had secrets. Lizzie resented her stepmother. She believed Abby married her father for one thing, money. And tensions inside that house were growing sharper every day. That morning, their maid, Bridget, later said she'd heard almost nothing unusual. Just the sound of a door latch, the rustle of skirts. And then silence. An unsettling silence. Around 9 a.m., Abby Borden went upstairs to make the guest bed. No one saw her again, alive. Moments later, Andrew Borden came home early from town. He removed his boots, laid on the sofa in the sitting room to rest. Somewhere in that house, someone was waiting inside. Abby was found face down on the guest room floor. She had suffered multiple fatal strikes. Andrew, struck 11 times, he had also been fatally attacked. No forced entry. No robbery. No footprints leading away. Whoever did it never left the house. Lizzie Borden called out to the maid. "Come quick! Father's dead! Something terrible has happened!" Police rushed to the scene. The small town was stunned. The Bordens were prominent, respected. But as investigators moved through the house, one question echoed louder than all the whispers outside. Where was Lizzie when it happened? She said she'd been in the barn, looking for fishing sinkers. Yet detectives found no footprints in the dust. Her dress, freshly changed. And the day after the murders, the maid saw her burn that same dress in the kitchen stove. Lizzie said it was stained with paint. But investigators had their doubts. The evidence was thin, but the atmosphere was thick with suspicion. Friends defended Lizzie, a gentle churchgoer, Sunday school teacher, surely incapable of murder. But others whispered about her temper, her coldness, her resentment toward Abby. When police asked about her stepmother, Lizzie corrected them sharply. "She is not my mother. She is Mrs. Borden." Investigators found a possible weapon in the basement. Handle broken. Was it the murder weapon? No blood, no prints, yet something about it felt wrong. Too clean. Rumors spread that she had been attempting to buy poison days before the incident. Newspapers called it the crime of the century. June 1893, the courthouse in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Crowds packed the gallery. Reporters from every major city filled the aisles. For the first time, America watched a murder trial like a live theater performance. The prosecution painted Lizzie as cold, calculating, a woman who killed for control and inheritance. The defense portrayed her as a wrongfully accused daughter. The victim of gossip and a sexist legal system that couldn't imagine a woman being both calm and clever. The jury deliberated for just an hour. Their verdict: not guilty. And just like that, Lizzie Borden walked free. But free didn't mean forgiven. Neighbors turned their backs. Friends vanished. Children began repeating a dark rhyme in the streets. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Lizzie lived out her life in Fall River, alone in a mansion she called Maplecroft. No confession ever came. No one else was ever charged. And to this day, the case remains unsolved. So, who really killed Andrew and Abby Borden? Some believe Lizzie did it in a sudden rage, snapping after years of repression. Others think her sister Emma helped cover it up. A few even suspect the maid, Bridget, tired, sick, and trapped in that house. But without evidence, every theory is just another ghost in Fall River. The truth died the same day the Bordens did. The Lizzie Borden murders are more than an old New England story. They're a mirror, reflecting what happens when secrets fester behind polite smiles. A house filled with tension, a family torn by greed, a society that refused to believe women could be monsters too. More than a century later, the question still lingers. Was Lizzie Borden a victim of prejudice, or the person responsible who was never caught? One house. Two victims. One woman at the center of a mystery that still divides opinions. This is the legend of Lizzie Borden. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most chilling mysteries, make sure to hit subscribe and like. And tell us in the comments, do you think Lizzie Borden did it? Because next time, we're uncovering another forgotten crime that still haunts the United States. Until then, stay curious, stay aware, and remember, some stories never die.